Hey everyone, and welcome back for race 2 of the Ultimate Racing League Wednesday Porsche Challenge. This is race 2. We are in Croatia at the Dragon Trail. We are on the seaside layout. Just saw a fantastic win for Brian, made it look very easy. So he does find himself on pole position for race 2. So we'll run down the order and then we'll get this one started, shall we? So Brian is on pole, Shaggy in second, Stealthy's third, Graham fourth, Kian on fifth, Hodgie 6th, the Big Mac 7th, Firepower 8th, Declan is 9th, Kebabman's 10th, and Nath 11th. So let's get the camera right. Great shot of the guys on the grid there. So we'll get them underway for race 2. This is in the evening, so the sun will start to set, and it's lights out, and we are away. Oh, don't know what's happened at the back there. There was a bit of wheel spinning, I think, going on as Shaggy darts in front of Brian. Shaggy got a fantastic start there. So Shaggy gets himself into the lead as they enter the first chicane, but goes very deep into that corner, and that's allowed Brian through. And Shaggy, unfortunately, after a flyer of a start, he went too deep into the first chicane. That's allowed Brian through. Graham also takes advantage and goes through. Hodgie is all over him as well. So that one mistake has cost Shaggy a few places. Oh, and who's that that's gone wide there and all over the place? It looked like Declan. Well, what happened to Declan? He was 10th. So we're on board with Declan. He was 10th, and he slides to the left, tries to... and slides. Well, I've just got to say that's great driving, because Declan could have took out most of the field there. He has held back to allow the guys to resettle and take the places back, but that could have been disastrous. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch there from Nath that sends Declan wide, but he gets it back on track nice and early. So everybody facing the right way now as we follow Brian into the chicane. He gets through. Okay, Graham. Oh, Hodgie. Oh, Hodgie. He was just on Kian as well. So let's have a look. So on board with Hodgie, he's really pushing, he's trying to take that spot away from Graham. We're into the chicane, you can see we've got Shaggy behind in 4th. And Hodgie just couldn't get that car turned enough, clipped the barrier on the right, which threw him to the left. That was a big hit from Hodgie. Kian's gone through, although I think Kian had a bit of a moment as well. Let's just have a run back, and I think Kian might have ran wide and hit the wall into the hairpin turn. Oh no, there's a bit of a touch from Stealth. Both still going the right way though, so no real harm done there. Stealth did hold back, so that's what happened to Kian. So let's have a bit of a rundown then. So Brian is out in front. We've got Graham in second. Graham on the softs now. Shaggy chasing him down in third. Oh, he's a bit late on the braking again for Shaggy into that chicane. Keeps it going though, and keeps his track position. Kian now in 4th, then we've got the Big Mac and Firepower having a battle for 5th. And then we've got a string of cars following these guys through. Hodgie in 7th, Stealth in 8th. So Hodgie is going to be looking to try and make a move on Firepower. He's trying to get as close as he can. He's getting right up the gearbox of Firepower's car. If he can get a good run down the hill, and he has, I think he's already done it. So Hodgie's got himself in front of Firepower. Firepower holding that inside line though. Hodgie having to go around the outside. He keeps it done. Hodgie now into 5th. Firepower drops to 6th. Stealth in 7th. Ooh, Stealth I think had a bit of a kiss with the barrier then. Kebabman's down in 11th with the Big Mac just in front of him. So it seems to be all happening mid-pack. Stealth looking at making a move on Declan. Let's go on board with Stealth as he tries to get right at the chuff of Declan. Has a look at the inside. No, just taking it nice and easy. I think he's just trying to apply the pressure on Declan, trying to force a mistake. Oh, as Stealth gets a little bit squirrely there. Not even sure that's a word, squirrely. Well, it is now. Well, that little mistake cost Stealth, I would say a couple of tenths, but it's not even a couple of tenths, but he has dropped off of Declan a little bit. No pressure from behind, so he can concentrate on catching back up to Declan. Firepower still in 6th, holding off Declan. Hodgie in 5th. Now can Hodgie... Oh, as Kian has a big hit then. That's gonna hurt. Through that chicane of death, and that could well be... Oh, that was a big hit for Kian. And that has cost him a lot of places. A lot of damage at the front there. You can see the car's all over the place. It may be that Kian is concussed as well. He may even have passed out in that cockpit, so that's why he's all over the place. He needs to wake up quickly because he's got the Kebabman's bearing down on him. So back up. Hodgie now in 4th. Shaggy 3rd. You can just see Brian and Graham ahead. So Shaggy has, there is a bit of a gap now, quite a few seconds gap between himself and Hodgie, so Hodgie got some work to do if he's going to catch Shaggy up and take that 3rd podium spot. Hodgie and Declan, of course, 1 and 2 in the league table at the minute. So Hodgie will be pleased he's in front of Declan. Firepower still in there as well. He's putting Declan under all sorts of pressure, isn't he? That's a bit of a cheeky look up the inside, but no, holds back. He's just going to sit behind Declan now as they enter this chicane. You don't want to be going side by side through here. Now, who gets the best exit? Oh, it's Firepower, just the rear end, just caught that inner corner of the barrier. That was so unlucky for Firepower then. Let's see if we can get a better view of this. You can just see there, the back end just caught that barrier and completely threw him out. That's allowed Stealth through. So Firepower drops to 8th, Stealth goes through to 6th, got the Big Mac in 7th. Although Firepower now coming back, still got some damage to the front left, maybe a puncture. Of course, these cars have self-repairing and self-inflating tyres. They're about £2 each, but obviously the racing teams pay for all of that. So 5 Power's damage has now sorted itself out, so he can get back on the noisy pedal and try and catch up to the back of Stealth, which he's doing. Kian approaching all the time. He's getting closer and closer, in 9th position at the minute. So good little battle going on mid-pack between these 4 or 5 cars. We'll just go back up to our race leader Brian, who's not having it all his own way this time. Graham is sticking with him, both on the soft tyres. Graham having a fantastic second race. I don't want to say too much, otherwise we'll end up putting a curse on it. Now, did Brian have a bit of a moment with the chicane then? Because he seemed very comfortable out in front. Will he go through the chicane? No. I think he may have been just a little bit cautious. Graham has got a much better exit and goes flying by, so fantastic move for Graham. Oh, Brian desperate to take that spot back, drifts it around the corner, but the unfortunate thing with drifting is it does slow you down. So Graham is now our new race leader with 8.5 minutes gone of race 2 here at the seaside in Croatia. So Brian just needs to take his time now. The temptation is to try and push too hard, and that's where the mistakes happen. Shaggy keeping it nice and steady. He's having a great round this for Shaggy so far. Second, was he second in the first race? I can't remember. He was definitely up there in the top 3. Sitting 3rd at the minute. We've got Hodgie in 4th. There is still a few seconds gap between himself and Shaggy, although Hodgie is now starting to pull away from Declan, which you'll be pleased about. As I say, these two, 1 and 2 at the minute, with only a point separating them. So this will allow Hodgie just to stretch a little bit further in front of Declan on the points table. But it looks like the Big Mac is catching up to the back of Declan, so can he be putting him under pressure? The Big Mac taking a much tighter line through that hairpin. As I say, the temptation is to try and push a bit too hard, and that's when the mistakes start creeping in. As we see Stealth go through in 7th, Firepower sitting in 8th, Kian 9th, Kebabman's is 10th, and then Nath in 11th. Oh, looks like Nath's had a bit of a kiss with Barrier as well. You can see the left hand side of that car, the damage there. Got a bit of damage to the wheel and the bumper. As I say, they are self-repairing, so all he's got to do is sit it out for about 30 seconds or so. So back up to the battle for the lead. Graham holding Brian off at the minute. Let's go on board with Brian as he tries to take that number 1 position off of Graham again. Down the hill. Hard on the brakes in a straight line. Off again before you turn that wheel, otherwise you find the back end is actually overtaking you. Both of these guys pushing hard. Oof. I think Brian got a better exit there. He just seemed to have made a little bit of ground on Graham. You can just see Shaggy in the distance in his mirrors. Graham's got about 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes to hold Brian off, although Brian is getting closer and closer. Riding the slipstream now. Graham defends the inside line, Brian goes around the outside, and I think Brian's managed to get, he has. That was a great move from Brian, he managed to get himself his nose in front. So Brian retakes the lead, and it's Graham's turn now to apply the pressure. As Brian tries to pull away from Graham, Graham has got Shaggy, who's got even closer to him. So these top three, it is still anybody's race with a little over 2 minutes to go, so any one of these three could take the win, especially with the chicane of death coming up. It only takes one slight mistake and it's going to cost you quite a few spaces as Brian goes through, Shaggy goes through, Graham goes through. All very clean for the three of these guys. Hodgie still down in fourth. I think he's pretty much settled for this one. He's not going to get any closer to the three guys in front. The gap's too big, and the gap back to Declan, I think he's too big as well. So Hodgie is looking very likely to take fourth. Likewise, Declan's going to take fifth. Stealth in sixth. I'm just going to run down the order, and then we'll go back up to those three at the front. Big Mac 7th, Firepower 8th, Kia 9th. Then we've got Kebab Man and Nath down in 10 and 11. So let's just go back up and see what's happening up at the front. As Brian has opened a little bit of a gap. Back to Graham. And Graham is still coming under pressure from Shaggy. These cars of course have DRS, the drag reduction system, so on the straights you can open that rear wing, gain yourself a few extra miles an hour. I'm not sure exactly what it is, it's something like 12 miles an hour. They work much better in the slipstream as Shaggy does a great move on Graham to take that second position. Let me just go back and have a look at this. It was down the hill towards the hairpin. Shaggy gets on the inside, he's just later on the brakes, a tighter line, and he makes that stick. That was a great move from Shaggy. Not a lot Graham could do about that. He just has to sit in behind now and try and do exactly the same thing to Shaggy. Ooh, that car did get a bit out of sorts there, didn't it? As Graham makes a challenge, he's going to have to go the long way round though. He is on the outside, Shaggy keeping it nice and tight. It is the same order as they go across the line, so Brian takes the win, Shaggy gets second, Graham third. What a fantastic finish to the race for those two. Hodgie, as we said, he's going to come home in fourth. Good race for Hodgie. Some valuable points there to his nearest rival Declan. Stealth is going to be fifth. Good race from Stealth. Firepower 6. Then Declan 7th. Kian in 8th. Kebab Man's 9th. The Big Mac in 10th. And then Nath is going to come home in 11th. Still carrying a little bit of damage at the front there. So well done to Nath, finishing the race. So that was race 2. Join me again for race 3. Oh, as Nath decides he's really going to hate that car, doesn't he? He wants to smash it to bits. Join me again shortly for race 3. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a nighttime race, so looking forward to that one.